Hey everyone, Laura and Enzo here. Say hi, Zo. He's almost asleep, hopefully. Okay, so this video is going to be, I'm gonna do a couple today, I think, because I'm feeling optimistic. But this video is going to be focused on nursing. On a lot of the support groups that I'm on, that has been a common question for moms who are pregnant or are even new moms, like their baby's already here, on how to nurse and breastfeed with casts. So Enzo is on his third set of casts. He has leg warmers on, and I'll show you. We decorated his casts for Halloween. So he's on his third set of casts. I'll show you the correction on them really quick. Hey, buddy. So they're turned out pretty significantly. Huge improvement. I will post a picture here about the progression from cast 1 to 2 and now 3. Okay, so anyways, like I said, a lot of moms have had questions about how to nurse and whether it's possible with casts. I've never had another baby, so I don't really know what it's like with, well, no, I take that back. I do know what it's like without it, because he actually didn't get his cast until 2 or 3 weeks ago. And he is about to be a month old on the 9th. Or 2 months old on the 9th, sorry. So he's about 6 or 7 weeks now. But our breastfeeding journey, just really quick, I feel like nobody talks about how difficult this shit is. Or they do, but they don't tell you like how to get around it. I guess because everybody's situation is different. But for Enzo, as you may know, he was in the NICU when he was first born for about a week. So, and a lot of the lactation consultants, Cleveland Clinic was amazing. They had lactation consultants circulating around the NICU and shields and stuff that they would put up, and like curtains that they would put up around you in case you wanted to breastfeed, or I don't know, privacy for skin to skin. At that point, everybody had seen way more of me than I have ever seen. So modesty was kind of out the window for me. However, they were really good about it. But for anybody that's ever had a NICU baby, something that was really weird to me was they were like making sure that he would eat on not only on a specific schedule, but they would say he has to eat 30 milliliters, which is an ounce, and he's like this tiny little 6-pound, nothing, he doesn't even, like, he barely knew how to breathe. Like, that's why we were in the NICU. And so I feel like they were just trying to shove him full of all this food, and he was so tiny, and I was really confused because I was like, well, I'm producing colostrum, and shouldn't that be enough? Because if we were just gonna go home like normal, like, you guys wouldn't be shoving an NG tube down him or supplementing with donor milk. Like, we would just be on our own at home trying to figure this out. And so we had one doctor in particular who agreed with us, or like agreed with that philosophy, and she kept reiterating that, you know, he's a full-term baby, so he's not a preemie like others that they're used to seeing in the NICU. And so she really helped advocate for us to get out of there sooner and not let the feeding thing hold us back. The reason I'm going into this though is because they would say, like, do you want to nurse? And I'm like, sure, we can try, right? I don't know what I'm doing, and he clearly doesn't know what he's doing. So sure, we can give it a shot. Well, we would try it, and then the nurses would be like, oh my God, that was a successful feed. Like, we don't need to give him anything down his NG tube. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, wait a second. So on one hand, you're saying he has to have 30 milliliters, 35 milliliters, 40, whatever it was that day, but yet he latched for like 2.5 seconds, and we tried for an hour to breastfeed, and you're considering that a successful feed, so we're just gonna skip it? really confusing to me. So we got to the point where I was like, listen, if this is one of the criteria for us to get out of the NICU, we're just bottle feeding, right? I don't care. We'll figure out the breastfeeding thing later. So that's what we did. Thankfully, my milk supply came in really well. I will tell you, I was up every 2 hours at the hospital, pumping and then running my milk down to the 3rd floor. We were on the 4th floor. So I just stayed really vigilant on top of that to make sure that even though we weren't nursing, that my milk supply was still gonna come in. The other thing that so we ended up getting discharged. He was born on the 9th. We were discharged on the 14th. And they were like, okay, he's bottle feeding. We're good to go. Whatever. So we get home, and one of the things that they say that is really difficult for breastfeeding is stress. I can't imagine what's stressful, right? But stress makes it really difficult for you and really difficult for the baby. And so I took a long time, we just still bottle fed. I still pumped all the time. But we really just stuck to what we knew and what we felt comfortable with. I wanted to make sure that I knew how much he was getting. I was not ready to let go of that control piece yet. I wanted to make sure that he was growing, that he was getting enough. I read this awful story about this mom who didn't know that she was starving her baby because she just didn't know that he wasn't getting enough when he nursed. Scared the shit out of me. So we pumped and did bottles for, probably the first whole month at least. Probably the first five weeks maybe of his life. Because the other thing that I felt like, so this is TMI, if you're family and you don't want to hear this, turn the video off. I have flat nipples and they're big. I don't know. One of the things that one of the lactation consultants asked me, we were trying to nurse in the NICU, and she was like, Laura, do your nipples come out anymore? And I was like, Margaret, they're scared, they're bruised, they hurt, and they don't want to come out right now. They just don't want to come out. Yeah, they do, but not right now. So after we left, I was determined to figure out how to do this, because I feel like my nipples aren't any different. I mean, I've never had a complaint about them before. And I was like, there's gotta be a way for my baby to nurse, but I felt like they were too flat and too big. And he was tiny. He was, not the tiniest, but he was 6 pounds, 12 ounces when he was born, and then his weight went down, right? So by the time intermission, got a phone call. So by the time, where was I? I can't remember. Anyways, I feel like there's a lot of women that have similar body types to me, right? They have difficulties nursing, and I'm like, there has to be a way to nurse my baby, right? Regardless of whatever type of nipples I have, there's got to be a way to make this work. And I'll tell you what, I was quickly over the whole bottle thing. Pumping, I'm sure y'all have been there. It's not fun. And I'm tired. I'm so tired. That 1 to 3 a.m. block, when you have to get up to pump, the worst. So I went on this excursion. I have tried every product on Amazon. I got 4 different types of nipple extenders. I have nipple shields that the hospital gave me, or nursing shields, nipple shields. I think they're the same thing. Like I said, nipple extenders. I had something showing up every 4 days, to help extend my nipples and make it easier for him to nurse. And the one time, oh my God, the Amazon package that got delivered, I ordered bottles and nipple extenders. And this is so funny. The bottles got here, but there was no nipple extenders in there. And trying to chat with Amazon support, and he's like, oh, did you mean blah, 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 blah. And he named out the full title of like this product. And I swear to God, he thought that I had some type of fetish. I'm like, just trying to feed my baby. But anyways, like I was talking to one of the moms on the support group, and she was saying that she has inverted nipples and it's really, she can't nurse her baby. And so I know a lot of us struggle with this. I'm trying to lend any amount of support that I can. Casts are not an issue. If you think that this is gonna be the most difficult thing about nursing, it is not. The things that you're gonna encounter that's difficult about nursing are the things that all moms encounter, in my opinion. So with his casts, as you can see, he's finally asleep. It's okay. If he wakes up, sorry in advance. So one of the things that I was recommended before he was born was this, my breast friend pillow thing. I found mine used at Once Upon a Child. I think I got it for like $6. It's not the best. It's very big. It's very big and it's very cumbersome to like carry around. And when you have a screaming baby who's hungry, a pillow works much better. And I like how you can like double up a pillow and like make it squishier and things like that. The other thing that I'm not as huge of a fan of about this is when he's laying on top of it, sometimes it can squish his arm. And I feel like his arm's like stuck to him. I am a fan of that cell phone pocket right there though, because if you've ever nursed, as soon as you start nursing, you realize you don't have your phone. So that's pretty cool, but I've really only used it like maybe a handful of times, not a lot. Okay, so what I do use is just a regular pillow, and I just put him on top. Just put him on top like this, and his casts are fine. See, his casts are good. I'll show you what it looks like. They're just chilling. If you can see one of my other videos about the leg warmers, I can go into more detail about that if you guys want, but leg warmers, I left them off for like a night last night. Don't ever do it. Always keep them on. And again, family TMI, my boobs are huge. So my version of breastfeeding might be a little bit different than people that don't have this issue. But my boobs are big. Before I got pregnant, I was at least a D. Yeah, they're big. And then like now with like milk in them, they're huge. So that being said, like those picture perfect moments of like moms like cradling their baby like this and he's just like beating, we can't do that. That doesn't work. I have to like have him like all the way down like this and he's like resting on like my wrist in order for that to happen. That doesn't work for us. Maybe it will once he is not like a jellyfish with his neck, but for right now that doesn't work. So what does work is I will take his bottom arm and put it like between my boobs just to like get it out of the way. And we do cross cradle like 95% of the time that we breastfeed. So cross cradle is when you are just supporting his shoulders and the bottom of his neck. Don't press his head in, just because if he's like, if your letdown is too much or if he forgets how to swallow and needs to like pull away, you don't want to be like shoving his head into you. So just support the bottom of his neck. And I have to use this hand to support my boob because like I said, they're big and we would like be like down here all the time and that hurts. So what I am looking forward to is not having to do that, because that means every time I feed, I have both hands occupied. But as you can see, he's fine. right? Breastfeeding, not an issue with Cass. If I know, you're such a good baby. If I need to flip him around, he flips just fine. Again, belly to belly. You want him facing you, and I can breastfeed just like this. The other thing that we have started doing is the football hold. And the only reason I've been doing this is because I have discovered a haka. If you guys don't know what a haka is, I have not pumped in 2 days because I've been getting enough milk in a haka while I breastfeed. So the cool thing about the haka is it's like this, it's like suction cup thing that like sticks to your boob. However, it does make your nipple look kind of like an anteater. Like it like sucks it like way down in there. So it's really entertaining. You should have seen my husband's face the first time I had it on. I was like, oh my God, look, there's milk. And he was like, well, does that not rip your nipple off? Sometimes it feels like it does, but it's, I don't know. Anyways, not usually painful. Sometimes the suction can be a little much, so just like take the suction off. If you don't know how to use a haka, I'm not gonna do a video on that because I'm not exposing that. Just Google it. So when we do use the haka though, like if I'm breastfeeding him on this side, the haka would be on this side, and that, even with a baby without Cass, that would be in the way, right? It, like his belly's right here, so it would not work unless other moms know a better way to do that. So we do football hold. And again, I still use the pillow. That breast friend pillow thing it does work a little bit better for this, but I just feel like it's too much. I know, baby, you're doing so good sleeping through this. Okay. So football hold, right, like that, and you're fine. And then the haka is right here, and you're getting plenty of milk. Well, I get plenty of milk coming out like that. Okay. You just want to be cuddled now? Okay. I gotcha. It's okay. Yeah. It's okay. You're such a good sport. Okay. So that's breastfeeding. Like I said, it's not, the Cass don't make it any different in my opinion. We breastfed before Cass and now with Cass, and it's pretty similar. His Cass are a little bit more cumbersome. They're a little bit more of a pain in the butt. And like right when they get casted, I know. It's okay. Yeah. Right when they get casted, the plaster is really heavy because it's wet. So when you're handling him, like you saw how I just like picked him up and kind of swung him around, don't do that when you have brand new casts on. Even when they're not wet, still be really careful. I know that they don't bother him. He's fine. Like I said, this is the 3rd week we've had casts on, so I know that that doesn't bother him. But every baby is different. Please be conscious of their hips. If like his casts are pretty small in comparison to other babies' casts, you can see his ghost. I have seen other babies' casts by other doctors that are very, very thick. They look a lot heavier. So just know your baby, figure it out, play it by ear, like go slow. So first day of casts, they're really heavy, so just make sure that they're really supported so that you're not putting extra pressure on their hips. A lot of babies with club feet will also have like hip dysplasia and stuff, so obviously if that's the case, listen to what your doctor says, the advice there. Enzo does not have that, so I can't offer any advice around that front. But don't stress too much. Like I said, we bottle fed for the first month and a half of his life, and I truly just felt like I had to wait until he got bigger. Like my nipples are big, they're flat, like he had to get big enough to where his mouth could fit my nipple, A, and B, he had to have enough of a suction in order to like keep my nipple in his mouth. And so I just had to wait till he got bigger. The one thing that I will say anatomically, which I didn't know this about boobs before having a baby, there is this thing that happens when you pump. Okay, so next time you pump, when you're after a pump session, it doesn't even have to be like a full thing, just do like 5 minutes. Feel your nipple before the pump session and then feel your nipple after the pump session. Your nipple after is like, it feels like warm silly putty. Like it's super pliable, it's super like floppy. That is what I want for Enzo for breastfeeding. That is what helps him latch really well. That is what helps him get like a really good suction. If my nipples are like hard and haven't been like warmed up, I don't know, it's hard for him to breastfeed. It's hard for him to like pull the right amount of my breast into his mouth in order to like get a good latch, and it hurts and he gets pissed. So that anatomically has really helped us. I hope that helps you. You really want there to be like empty space like right behind the nipple. Like that's what you want it to feel like the nipple's a little bit thick, and then like right behind it is like super thin. You can press it really thin. Milk will still get through, they can still nurse. It just makes it a lot easier for them to like draw your nipple like into their mouth, I found. So that has helped. Oh shoot, the other thing, crap, I don't think I have it here because I'm out and I'm waiting on my next order. Oh, I'm looking. I don't have it with me. That's okay. Kobu spray. This is not sponsored. They have no idea who I am. They do not care about me. However, if that changes, hit me up. But Kobu spray is like a coconut oil based pump lubricant. You can get it off Amazon, but I actually get mine directly from the website, which is weird for me. I get everything off Amazon, but the reason why is because Amazon only sells the 1 ounce bottles and their website sells the 2 ounce bottles. Kobu spray, if you pump, is incredible. You spray it into the flange, I don't know what it's called, the pump thing, the funnel, the flange, right? You spray it into that, and it's all natural. It's coconut oil. I think it has like shea butter in it, and so it's okay if the baby like consumes it, but it's such a fine mist, and you spray it once like at a distance into the thing, so you don't get a lot in the actual milk. But that has been amazing, because in the hospital, obviously they gave me like lanolin cream, or I even have this, it's sitting out because I don't have any more Kobu spray. It's the Earth Mama organic nipple butter. I don't like this as much, and I don't like lanolin. I don't like anything that's like really thick, because it like clogs everything up. I feel like my milk doesn't come out as easily. Like I have to be really careful to not get that on my actual nipple, like where the milk comes out of, because I feel like it clogs it. And the last thing I want is for this shit to take longer to pump or something like that. Also, the Kobu spray is really, really like fine. I don't know how to describe it. It's like really watery and like really like thinly processed. This stuff's thick, and so I feel like see that? It's super thick. Anyways, Kobu spray, get that. It's a little expensive, but once your nipples stop bleeding, you will pay anything to make sure that they don't bleed again. Okay, that's it. That's all for nursing. If you have questions, comment below, and I will try to help you out. And it's time to go nurse. Okay, bye. The one thing I did forget that is a little bit different with Cass is burping. So I just got done feeding him. And I don't think he's done, so if he cries a little bit, that's why. Okay, so with Cass, you can't like sit him on your lap the same way, so I'm gonna show you really quick. So I sit him in between my legs, like this. I know, we're gonna eat again in a minute. And so I kind of like pinch the calves with my legs, and I just sit here and burp him like this. And I'll have like a burp cloth here on the front. But that seems to really help him with his gas. The other thing that he really loves, because you can't do bicycles with Cass babies because their knees don't bend, is we do this game that look, he's already ready for it. Good burp, good burp. Yeah. So we do this game. Ooh, good burp. Where it's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And catch his head, right? Do it slow. If you're doing this for the first time with a baby, they might not like it or get scared. Enzo loves it. But again, pinch his knees down here, pinch his legs so that you have like control over him. And just go back and forth. Oop, you got some spit up coming out. Yeah, you're such a wonderful baby. And just go forth, back and forth, back and forth. And that helps work out his gas pains. His gas with Cass has not been any worse than without them, but also we have worked his legs like this since day one. I know, you're still hungry. Oh, you want to play again? Back and forth, back and forth. But burping like that is a little bit different with Cass. Okay, now I think we're done.